Can someone tell me where I can find a decent, loyal, funny, good-looking guy around here?
So there are some crucial things that people don't talk about after you go through a divorce. The fact that the quietness and the emptiness in your home when you don't have your spouse or your children is deafening. You have to really get comfortable with being alone, and it's very uncomfortable. You quickly realize that you are now the center stage of all conversation in your friend group because you're now living this wild and fun life because you're no longer attached to anybody.
I told myself I didn't care. I didn't care when a man ghosted me. I didn't care when he left in the middle of the night or hinted that he wanted me to leave. The walks of shame, the blackouts, the anxiety.
Welcome. Today we'll be looking at several women who were lied to by the feminist movement. They were told juicy stuff about being independent and encouraged that living a wayward life and being put in control was the best thing that could ever happen to them. But they quickly realized this was just sugar-coated lies.
There are some crucial things that people don't talk about after you go through a divorce. The fact that the quietness and the emptiness in your home when you don't have your spouse or your children is deafening. You have to really get comfortable with being alone, and it's very uncomfortable. You quickly realize that you are now the center stage of all conversation in your friend group because you're now living this wild and fun life because you're no longer attached to anybody. And I don't know about you, but I spent a lot of my time crying and eating pizza and drinking wine in the bathtub. Being single is glamorized in today's society, and people are saying, yes, good for being single, and you should really, really just enjoy it. It's so freeing. When really you lost your purpose because you've been supporting this person for X amount of years and supporting their aspirations and their goals and their dreams and their desires, and you lost yourself along the way. So now it's beautiful. You get to find yourself, but it's hard to sit in that and be like, oh, who the f am I? So maybe be a little bit more gentle on the single people in your life.
They quickly forgot there was a reason they got married in the first place. Ask yourself, if being single was so great, why did you get a man in the first place? But as modern women are, they always think the grass is greener on the other side. But when they cross over to the other side, they desire marriage all over again. This goes to show you cannot satisfy a woman's desire. They always want what they don't or can't have.
One-night stands made me feel emboldened, but in reality, I was using sex like a drug, trying unsuccessfully to fill a hole inside me with men, pun intended. I told myself I didn't care. I didn't care when a man ghosted me. I didn't care when he left in the middle of the night or hinted that he wanted me to leave. The walks of shame, the blackouts, the anxiety. The lie I told myself for decades was, I'm not in pain, I'm empowered. I knew it would be hard to read this. Looking back, it isn't a surprise that I lied to myself, because from a young age, sex was something I was lied to about.
Believe me, she didn't only tell herself these lies. She also told hundreds and thousands of married and single ladies the same lie. The typical case of the blind leading the blind into the gutter.
A lot of women choose the wrong men and are fully aware of it. I've seen many videos on TikTok and Instagram of women humoring this idea that women do not make rational choices when it comes to men. And I'm not trying to generalize, I'm speaking based on what I see. These TikToks all have thousands upon thousands of views and likes, with plenty of women of all ages in the comments section relating to this notion. And in my opinion, it's pretty baffling to me that so many women know who the good men are, but they deliberately choose to go after the men with red flags, the men who show zero interest in them, and the men who are just blatantly toxic. And to make matters even worse, these women treat their poor choice of men as a complete joke. But once these women get tired of being mistreated by the men that they chose, and likely accumulated a whole lot of trauma in the process, they ask, where are all the good men? The good men were always there, and you knew this, but you didn't want them. You friend-zoned them, you called them boring, and you went after the men who you knew were not good for you. And now all the good men are either in relationships with women who did not subject themselves to trauma-inducing dead-end relationships, or they simply don't find any interest in you.
Well said. When you look at ladies that had not been damaged or don't have emotional baggages, you will notice they have very minimum makeups, no lip balm or Botox. They are just natural and beautiful. This really is the reason men prefer youth and fertility over old, emotional, damaged, and entitled women. You can blame us for the natural nature of wanting to choose younger.
If you are sexually active and you know that you have an STD, then you need to inform people of that. Because when you don't, and you infect that person, you are changing their life forever, and they are making a decision that they do not know. Like, this shit is going to change the rest of my life. And there's nothing I can do. And I'm embarrassed. And I'm humiliated, and I feel so stupid. I feel so stupid for letting someone take advantage of me in a moment of weakness. But I did not consent to this.
It's so sad she got infected. But then, who does she think she will attract with the tattoo all over her body? Only bad boys will come into her life. And as expected, this type of men sleep around with multiple women. So be careful how you present yourself to the world. You may just get treated like that. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this channel. Till we meet again, this is your guardian.